According to initial reports, at least 2 people were hurt. Flights were briefly suspended but have now resumed. The Israeli military says it is investigating why air defence systems failed to intercept the missile. The country's defence minister has threatened a forceful response. The developments come after Israel issued orders calling up tens of thousands of reservists ahead of an expanded offensive in Gaza, according to several media outlets in the country. According to Israel's public broadcaster, the Security Cabinet is scheduled to meet on Sunday to approve the move. Israeli officials have repeatedly said they will intensify military operations in the Strip if Hamas fails to release the remaining hostages. As well as daily airstrikes, all aid has been blocked from entering the territory for 2 months, despite international pressure on Israel to lift its blockade, with warnings that intentionally starving civilians is a war crime. Our Middle East correspondent Hugo Bechega gave me the latest from Jerusalem.
So this was a missile that was fired by the Houthis in Yemen, and we've seen those images from Tel Aviv, an area near Gurion airport, which is Israel's main international airport, was hit. We don't know whether this was a direct impact from this missile, and the authorities here are saying that there have been no serious injuries from this attack. The authorities say at least 2 people have been taken to hospital with minor injuries, and we had a statement from the Israeli military saying that they are investigating why this missile wasn't intercepted. This is obviously a country that has a very sophisticated air defense system with a very high success rate in intercepting missiles and rockets, and we've seen that the Houthis have been firing rockets at Israel, saying that they are acting in support of Palestinians in Gaza. The vast majority of those missiles are intercepted by the Israeli military, and there has been some reaction from the Israeli defense minister saying that Israel is going to hit back 7 times stronger. We've seen that there have been attacks by Israel, also by this coalition led by the United States, trying to strike Houthi targets in Yemen to stop these attacks, not only against Israel but also on ships in the Red Sea.
And Hugo, what more do we know about these reported plans to call up thousands of Israeli reservists to expand the military operation in Gaza?
Yeah, so the Israeli Security Cabinet is expected to meet later today, and this measure is expected to be approved. There have been, there has been some speculation that the Israeli military is planning an expansion of the military offensive of the war against Hamas in Gaza. What the Israeli authorities are saying is that they're putting pressure on Hamas to release the hostages who remain in captivity in Gaza. We've seen that since Israel ended the ceasefire back in March. Those negotiations, the international efforts for a new deal, not only to guarantee the release of the hostages, but also for a ceasefire in Gaza, have failed to reach any kind of deal. And also part of this strategy is this blockade on the entry of humanitarian aid into Gaza. And we've seen some dramatic reports of the situation in Gaza, where aid agencies say that food supplies, water, medicine are running low, and they've been saying that this is a policy of starvation that could amount to a war crime, something that the Israeli authorities reject. We've seen some protests here in Israel against the war. We've seen also some former officials, military officials, urging the authorities to end the war in Gaza, and there has been this suspicion for quite some time that the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is prolonging the conflict to guarantee his political survival. So again, the Israeli Security Cabinet expected to meet later today and approve this measure.
Hugo Bechega there. Well, I also spoke to Dr. H.A. Hellier from the Royal United Services Institute. He began by giving me his analysis on the missile strike.
This was a missile that came from the Houthis in Yemen. I don't think it can be disaggregated from the overall conflict, of course, that's going on in terms of Israel's war in Gaza. The Houthis have made that very clear. Of course, they're a terrible group, but they're not striking just out of nowhere. The question is whether or not we will see measures to de-escalate the situation comprehensively so that there wouldn't be further strikes of this nature, or if we're going to see escalation, in which case we're going to see more pain and suffering for the Yemenis and, frankly, for people throughout the region, including Israelis and Palestinians.
What's your analysis of this expected move that thousands of reservists are to be called up in Israel to expand the operation, the Israeli operation in Gaza?